Who's winning tonight?
I'm sorry, Miami.
Okay.
Listen, I said this before. I thought this series would go 7 games. I recognize the fact that it's still possible it could go 7 games, but I think there's blood in the water. I think Miami is rolling, and I think that when you see Tyler Hero come out and play the way that he has played, he played last game, I think that's a big thing. I think Jimmy Butler is due one monster game like Tyler Hero had in Game 4. And if there was a time when Boston, I believe, was going to push this series to 7 games, it was obviously Game 4. When I saw them after Game 3, I still picked them to win Game 4. I know that, I picked Miami to win this series from the beginning, and I never jumped off that. But I did think that Boston could potentially win Game 4 because their backs were against the wall. There was a level of urgency, and Miami was still finding their way. But I'm looking at Boston play against the zone. And Eric Spoelstra's throwing a zone out there. Now, Jason Tatum had 28 in the second half, all 28 of his points in the second half. Okay, Marcus Smart suddenly looked normal. Kemba has looked normal this entire series. And Jaylen Brown, even though he's getting points, his shooting percentage ain't necessarily what you'd like it to be, even though it's not awful. I just think that Miami right now, I think the nail gets put in the coffin tonight.
Well, I want to say something, and when I'm done, I'd love to hear from Perk. Why teams, as you brought up, Stephen A., in these playoffs, NBA teams are suddenly so bothered by zone defenses. I mean, I've never seen anything like this, the way it just discombobulates everybody. And this goes back to even last year. But I want to talk about Kemba Walker. You brought up Kemba Walker. I want to talk about Kemba Walker. I said when the Celtics acquired Kemba that this is the best approximation of Kyrie you could possibly get. He's not as good as Kyrie quite, but if you're looking for that kind of player, it's Kemba. And unlike Kyrie, he's good in the locker room, right? But in a way, he's the anti-Kyrie. Kyrie may not have a great effect on team chemistry, but if it's late in a critical game, Kyrie is that dude you want. He's a killer. He's a killer. Kemba Walker may be good in the locker room, may be good for chemistry, but he has not been able to elevate him or his team against the Miami Heat. And I don't believe he's going to go out that way. I love Kemba as a player. I just think he is going to, of course he needs help on defense. He's tiny compared to these guys. But on offense, he has not been anything special. I expect one special game out of Kemba Walker. I think he's going to rise to the occasion, and so I like the Celtics to extend the series.
All right. Perk?
Well, I think that is over with tonight. I think the Miami Heat are going to close this out, and here's why. Yes, Tyler Hero is balling. Yes, Bam is doing his thing. But Eric Spoelstra is the best coach in the NBA right now, and his championship pedigree is kicking in right now, and he's running circles around Brad Stevens. Think about it. Between Game 3 and Game 4, he had about 4 days to prep, and he came out with a whole nother zone, a whole nother lineup. He benched Kendrick Nunn. He benched Kelly Olynyk. He went small. He put adjustments. On the other hand, Brad Stevens, what are you doing? You are not putting these guys in position to be successful. You are not doing that at all. It's no ball movement. It's no player movement on the Celtic end. It's here, Jason Tatum, my turn. Here, Kemba Walker, my turn, basketball. Here, Jaylen Brown, it's your turn. You're asking these guys to go straight isolation ball against a zone defense that none of us has ever seen before. You're not putting these guys in position to be successful. How many lobs is Bam going to get in this series? Every night he's getting dunk after dunk. They're getting layup after layup, wide open three after wide open three. He still haven't stopped the one action where they do the pick with the dribble handoff and Goran Dragic or Tyler Hero is coming off of Bam, and either the lob is there or the layup is there. Like, when are you going to make these adjustments? Brad Stevens in Game 3 played Enes Kanter. Enes Kanter came in and he played well. He didn't play a single minute in Game 4. He went with Robert Williams. So I'm just confused about what is Brad doing over there right now, and what is he going to do to put these guys in position to be successful on this basketball court, because right now Eric Spoelstra is coaching circles around him.
Well, I think the reason why, listen, I don't go that far, but I think that the reason why Eric Spoelstra is really, really looks good right now, because his decision to go the route of playing zone most of the game, it's not something that you see in the modern day era of NBA basketball to that degree. And I think that's what's throwing dudes off. You're usually manning up, somebody gets double teamed or whatever, but you don't see a straight up zone being played as much
used to it
as Brad Stevens has done. So they get used to it. My issue is that if you can get used to it well enough to come back in the second half, right, and make a game out of it after trailing most of the game, how come you can't be ready for it the next game and the game after that and the game after that? Or if you had a double-digit lead in the first 3 games, what the hell you lose it for? I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't going against the zone at that particular moment in time. And that's where it gets a bit tricky.
Well, this is, Kendrick, Perk, you're talking about he's getting coach circles around Brad Stevens. Spoelstra is, and Spoelstra may be the best coach in the game. He's a great coach, championship pedigree. But first game was a 1-possession win for Miami. Second game was a 2-possession win for Miami. Celtics did not have Gordon Hayward in either game. Celtics get Gordon Hayward, win by 11, and then in the next game lose by a possession. So it's actually, especially with Hayward, but even without him, a pretty evenly matched series. Are you saying that the Celtics are much more talented than the Heat, and Spoelstra's making up for that? Because these have not been blowout-type games.
Max, what I'm saying is that when it comes down to, you're making my point, because when it comes down to a possession by possession game, that falls in the hands of the coaches. Who are you going to put the ball? Who hands are you going to put the ball in? What plays are you going to draw up for this person to get an easy basket? Jason Tatum had all those points that he had, majority of those came off of isolation or maybe driving kick.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.